From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work. We will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you, God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims. Hey guys, I'll wait for a few people to get in chat and then we'll get started. We got some breaking news. I did this earlier a few hours ago, but I haven't done it here on TikTok yet. We have 2 missing girls out of LaRanger, Louisiana. I'm not sure if you guys heard that, so we're going to take a few minutes and just dovetail over to that. I'm going to wait for a few people to get in. It's nice to see everybody. I am Bullhorn Betty, and I cover true crime, and we're covering the case of Sebastian Rogers, and we've got a lot of information that has been coming out over the last 48 hours, and we've been working very diligently to process the information. Hey guys, it's so nice to see you this evening. We're almost to TGIF. Tomorrow is almost here, so I'm really, really super stoked. Tomorrow, I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, I've got, I always have running shows and stuff like that I can always plug in and everything, but, you know, I'm trying to decide if I want to do something a little different tomorrow or not, so I'm kind of planning that tonight and seeing what I want, how I want to produce some of the stuff that I've got for tomorrow. So we'll see. I'm kind of a little excited, just a little bit. Anyways, before we get started, like I said, let me go ahead and get this flipped around here real quick. And, we'll go ahead and wherever the heck my, and of course I'm going back through the same darn thing again. I have a problem. It's just not allowing me to change it's not giving me the option for my camera. It's not like all my stuff is frozen at the end. It's driving me nuts. I can't deal with this stuff. I don't do well with technical stuff. It's not allowing me to turn my camera. I literally, there we go. It's making me do that. All right, give me a second, guys. I don't know where the heck my rest of my stuff went. Ah, good gracious. I can't. Enhancements. There's my frickin' effects. Good gracious. I'm taking this off. Okay, let me try this way. Again, guys, I'm sorry. It's just, it's really getting technical with me, and I don't know why. So this is where we're going to be dealing with. We're probably going to have a little commercial, and then we'll get on to it. I can't stand these commercials. I don't know why they think this is going to help. I should have grabbed another one, but this was the newest one. That's why I grabbed this one, because then it'll give you the updated information.
Begin with breaking news in Tangipahoa Parish. 2 young girls are missing after their mother was found dead in their home in LaRanger. Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff's detectives say they're investigating after 35-year-old Callie Brunette was reported missing for some 24 hours.
I gotta be careful.
Ultimately found dead in her home. Her daughter, 6-year-old Jaylee, and 4-year-old Aaron were not found in the home when law enforcement arrived. Officials urge anyone with any information to contact 911. Brunette's car was also missing from the home. It's a black 2012 Chrysler 200 with the Louisiana license plate 859GML.
Okay, so we're getting some updates. This is the one that came in 2 hours ago, and I just heard the youngest was found unalive here, and just now by one of our audience members. Now, again, just a really sad case. Let me flip this around. Oh, that was my. Sorry, I hit a button. That was my food from earlier. That was my food from earlier. 0.0 side. It doesn't give me these issues, these technical issues like it does over here. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw that up there. I hit a button, but yeah, I made some pork loin, fresh pork loin pot pies today, and I used like a beef base for my stuff. So yeah, the girls, it sounds like I didn't know. I just did. Let me go to Twitter and see what Twitter has to say, because somebody just told us in here. Good gracious. Sorry, give me just a second. Somebody just told me that LaRanger missing girls. So 3 hours. I'll see what the latest says here. Amber Alert issued. I don't see anything in here that says, hold on, a 4-year-old missing from her home in LaRange was found. The 4-year-old was found. This came in about an hour ago in Baton Rouge. That means the other one is, oh, geez. Oh, geez. I don't know what's going on, guys. It does sound, an hour ago they found the 4-year-old. Her 6-year-old sister was found unharmed. Okay, the suspect was found in Jackson, Mississippi. The suspect is in custody. So we have the suspect in custody. And so it sounds like the youngest child as well as the mom did not make it. So, hey, Concern K, it's nice to see you, and everybody else that's coming in. It's great to have you here. I wanted to let you know we're going to have an in-depth coverage on dog tracking, the specific dog tracking of Sebastian Rogers. For those that are just tuning in, this is Sebastian Rogers, a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from inside his locked home. He seemingly vaporized inside the home. His mom said he walked out the door, although she didn't see him. The strange thing is he's highly autistic, doesn't leave the house without shoes, and all these phenomenons boded opposite of what his normal behavior would be. If anybody, which apparently a lot of my audience does have autistic children, and those autistic children have their varying behaviors, but the parents understand how important those shoes would be to put on for him. Some people brought up maybe he walked out or was coaxed out of the house by his mom or someone else. And while that could be possible, I still believe he would have stopped and put his shoes on no matter what. So we had problems right up front with Sebastian Rogers, with the story mom and stepdad were providing. We saw some telltale signs, because we've been doing this a little while, of behaviors that don't look good with parents of a missing child. When parents do certain behaviors, it kind of is a telltale sign and a cue for me to look a little deeper that something's most likely not right, and there's more information out there to be had. And that's exactly what we found to be true in this case. We've been working at it. We didn't really believe the story, but we needed to work on convincing the audience, So the only way we can work on convincing the audience of a specific theory is to go through the facts of the case and keep working at it and bringing in more facts of the case. People keep saying that the facts of this case are very limited. No, I don't think that they're limited. I just think they need time to be put together. We've heard, for example, the walking out the door. It's nice to see you, Delta. God bless you. For example, walking out the door, right? We started looking at the Proudfoots. What have they said about their son? What is his normal behavior? So we started to really hone in on those and started going back to all of the interviews to hear what they said about their son and about his behaviors. Especially, we were focusing on outdoors, things that he did, his behaviors, his sensory issues. Would he be willing to walk out the door? So that's where we started focusing our efforts. And as the week went on, and reviewing of several and many interviews that Chris and Katie were a part of, as well as Seth, we learned very, very clearly that all three none of them really said anything that would convince us this boy walked out of the house. Even when they're challenged on why they thought the child walked out of the house, they just said, well, because he wasn't there. And when they woke up in the morning, even though he's never walked out of the house before, even though he doesn't leave the house without shoes, even though he doesn't, he has sensory issues, and quite frankly, none of the neighbors really know him because he never goes outside. So if you got a kid that never goes outside, why all of a sudden this night is he going to walk outside without his shoes, his keys, or his shoes, his switch, or his cell phone? And when you break it down, that's basically a woman's car, or keys, wallet, purse, and cell phone. And it's like, then I'm like, wait a minute. If we were to say a dude came up with this story that his girlfriend walked out of the house in the middle of the night, a locked house, and locked the door behind her, but she left her purse, her keys, and her cell phone behind, there's not one of us that would believe that story in any type of reality. Nobody would believe that story, but somehow we believed this story when it came to this 15-year-old kid because it was his mother saying it. Then we find out that his mother's got some major issues. Drinking, she's probably on some type of medication prescribed to her or otherwise. We're finding out her behaviors of being violent is common. We heard about her violent tendencies towards Seth. We started hearing these things. Then when Chris had an opportunity to address them, he kind of has an uncomfortable chuckle and is trying to blow it off. But you can tell he's very uncomfortable with the conversation, which leads me to believe the information is true. Now we have the light phenomenons going on the outside of the home. We got the light phenomenons going on the inside of the home. And now we are going to get down to how his scent got over to the retaining pond and construction site. And when I watched a particular creator and watched how Chris described it, first we know that there was no hit around the house. So where he described the hit starting from, there, in my opinion, is untrue. It's untrue. I believe the hit came near where the vehicle was parked. I think they took the dogs out. The dogs went over there and started walking the path of the car. Because if you watch the path of the dogs and you hear the statement of Miss Bobby, that dog tracked that car that left that corner that night, that unidentified car that we've been talking about diligently here on this channel. This one right here. This one right here. We're going to see the dog tracks. So this is going to be happening tonight on my YouTube channel at 8 p.m. If you guys don't know or have not been over to my YouTube channel, we are going to be covering this aspect of this particular case tonight. Because in my opinion, all four of these people here have no alibi. This is Katie Proudfoot. This is Sebastian's mom. This is Chris Proudfoot. This is Katie's husband. This is Chris Proudfoot's mother, Kathy Bowersox, and his stepfather, Terry Bowersox. We learned early on that these people here are a little loosey-goosey, okay? Then we heard from Nina, and we found out that Kathy helped Chris kidnap Faith, which is his last wife before Katie. They had a child together, and he tried to take that child because he does not want to pay that woman child support. That is his only primary motive, is not to pay her child support. Not because she's a horrible mother, because she's not. She looks like a very caring and compassionate mom, and she seems like she loves her kids. So we definitely have some information that we need to go over. We're staying focused. We identified that we didn't believe that he went out of the house. I presented my information to my audience as to why I didn't believe he went out of the house. Most of my audience believed me. We talked about the 3-hour conversation and the story Katie gave us, from 9 p.m. to about midnight. We really analyzed that. We went back to several different interviews, and we noticed that aspect of her story has changed multiple times and very significantly. So that led me to believe that aspect from 9 to 12 at night she was not being truthful about. I do believe there was a lengthy conversation on a phone. I know a lot of people say they don't believe it, but I do believe that there was the lengthy conversation on the phone. I believe the reason why Chris wanted to make it crystal clear is because he knew that that information would eventually come out, and he didn't want the backlash of, you never told us about the phone call, especially when law enforcement had already asked them about the phone call. They knew it was going to be an issue, and they tried to get ahead of it. See, Chris is smart, so if he sees things, he's going to go on the opposition. He's going to be offensive, not defensive. And right now we're pigeonholing him into defense. And we have been pigeonholing him and Katie into a defense. They have to be a defensive instead of offensive because of how we're handling this case. We're pushing them, and we're doing it publicly and in the public light to apply this very much public pressure that needs to be applied to them. They know their story stinks to high heaven, but they're praying and hoping that law enforcement doesn't have any evidence to support that. I'm here to tell them there is plenty of evidence, and it's only going to be a matter of time. So it would be my suggestion to get mercy from the courts, to start cooperating, not just being available to law enforcement, seriously cooperating. We have a child that's missing. We know that the Proudfoots know where this child is. We absolutely 100% believe that Katie Proudfoot unalived her son inside her home. Okay? In my mind, there is no other probability at this point. They've absolutely been adamant that this child was not abducted, and they did that because they did not want the criminal investigation. So now we need to find out why this boy was tracked to the construction site. And I truly believe whoever got into that car went over to the construction site to dispose of something. And I truly believe that in that dumpster, there may have been something associated with Sebastian. And they did a landfill search, and they try to say that they didn't get anything. But you know what? We know that they've lied to us about the dump truck, the garbage truck. Are they lying to us about the evidence that they collected from the landfill? Because, it may not have been Sebastian. It may have just been cleaning evidence. It may have just been, one of their towels, one of their washcloths. Maybe it might have been a bag of cleaning cloths to clean up everything. We don't know. We didn't watch them. We don't know if they took bags out of there. We don't know if they took any forensics out of there. Because the last time they did a landfill search, like with Quentin Simon, you couldn't see the search unless you were in a helicopter flying over them. They were so far in the back, and they would not let anybody into that facility unless you were a corporate truck that needed to dump there. You could not just drive in there and dump garbage. They would not let private citizens in there during this time. They actually had a stationary cop on the outside of the waste management. And then I noticed that security officer during the landfill search was a regular sheriff officer from the area. So, I keep wondering about that. But we're going to be going over the track that they took to how the dogs, the track the dogs took to the landfill. And we're going to be doing that tonight at 8 o'clock on my channel on Bullhorn Betty, the regular channel on YouTube. So if you guys are not subbed up to there, you're going to want to sub up there, because I'm going to be setting that for probably about 30 minutes, because we've been getting a lot of extra trolls in there because of my advocacy of this particular case and calling out bad actors on my platform. And so they've been trying to attack me, run my name through the mud, which I really don't care at this point. We still move forward, and we're not going to be distracted by their petty BS. So we're going to continue to prove that the Proudfoots are responsible. We're going to continue to prove that something happened to this boy inside their home. And we are going to continue to beg law enforcement to please, at this point, get some forensic teams in there. Get Katie under arrest. Something. There's enough here. And anybody that doesn't believe there's enough here doesn't know their ass from their elbow. That's what I got to say. And that includes law enforcement and the DA. But I don't believe that's the case. I really don't. I think they've got what we've got. I think they've analyzed it pretty close to the way we've analyzed it as far as overlaying cars, figuring out what type of car it is and stuff of that nature. But I find it awfully suspect where the dogs went and how they tracked Sebastian sent, and you're going to be shocked. And I think you're going to want to come over and watch our live that I'll be presenting in about an hour and 10 minutes. So let's get started on this. We've got a lot of work to do. We still, guys, this is not done. We still need all these interviews with all this new information that we've got, guys. We have to go back through the interviews again. Now that we have this car, now that we've connected the lights coming from the back of the house to this car, to this unidentified car. We've got this now. We've got this now. Now it's time for us to figure out how his scent got over into that construction site. And I think we might be pulling it together. I don't know. I'm not sure. You know, I got to present it. We got to have a discussion. We got to throw some theories out there. We got to see what the audience thinks about it. And we've got to start getting to work. But I think I might have the answer. So come on over to my YouTube channel. Again, Bullhorn Betty. All you have to do, type Bullhorn and Betty, 2 separate words. You'll find 2 channels for me. One's Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories, but you can't miss Bullhorn Betty. It has my logo right in the little thumbnail. You'll see that it already has a live set up for 8 p.m. You can go ahead and get yourself notified, and I will be there. So be there or be square. But we're going to be going over these tracks. We're going to be breaking down the case again for all the new people coming to this case, or maybe somebody that has missed it. Now, guys, just remember, you know, a lot of people I'm not going to be going through it thoroughly like I have. You can go back to my other videos, but when you come over there and you just want an update, we're going to go quickly to what our talking point is, but we will go through the full case and take just a few minutes to get everybody up to snuff, okay? So I'll see you guys over on the other side here in a little bit. God bless each and every one of you, but I think we might have something here. It may be, it may not be, but we'll definitely have a chat about it. And open this up so we can have discussion. I hope to see you soon. God bless, guys.